Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and Thanksgiving is one of my favorite times of year for cooking. On this video, I've put all my favorite recipes down. These are the recipes I use when I want to feed my family Thanksgiving. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're going to cook a turkey on the grill. Thanksgiving is a super busy time of year, and I've got all kinds of recipes to make. So this is going to free up my oven for the rest of the dinner. The ingredients for my recipe today are a turkey, rosemary, sage, butter, and salt. That's it. For Thanksgiving, I always look for the best deal on turkeys, and I found one. Then you have to take them out of the bag because the turkeys on sale come in a bag. Cut off the top, bing, and right down front and center. There he is, Mr. Turkey. I like him to have a little bath before I cook him. So with the water on, I go looking for presents, and I find myself a little neck. I'm going to use him. I don't feel anything else in the body cavity, so give him the flip, and there we go. We're an instant winner. Tough time's done. And give him a shake. He's got to dry off. Let's find out what we got. There's a liver. Now that's for Kitty. The heart is great for the stock, and so's the gizzard. That's the beginning of my stock. We got to pat dry our turkey, so cut off any plastic pieces that come. I have defrosted my turkey well. I have a recipe for that. Check out my channel. So you got to take out the backbone, and the easiest way to do this is have a really great pair of shears, and you just cut it down on each side of that backbone. You might need 2 hands for this part of the recipe. I don't know, that tom turkey was pretty big, so I got my rose pruning shears. Oh, much easier. So just clip them. Sometimes 2 tools are better than 1. Today is one of those days. So I'm cutting up both sides of the turkey, and it's going really easy with these pruning shears. Necessity breeds invention. There's a lot of improvisation that happens in any busy kitchen. And peel back the backbone because that's going to expose the other parts you need to cut. And keep going till you reach the end. There we go. Voila. This goes in my stock. The backbone is going to add so much to that flavor. Because I'm grilling, I'm just going to tidy up my turkey with a little more snippets. Because we know all that fat's going to make it flame up. And we're going to cut off his tails too. And cut off the frayed edges of the top into the stock. So now you flip Mr. Tom back, and we want to spread him out and flatten him because we want him to get as many surfaces down to the grill as possible. And what you're doing is you're kind of breaking his back. I'm also cutting him underneath the skin because I want to make sure I can get him flat on that grill. Pull him apart. And say, sorry, we have to break your back because we want him as flat as possible. Yay, we did it. And we're going to heat up our grill while we make our paste. One of my favorite flavors of Thanksgiving is sage. So I'm going to chop up about 4 tablespoons of sage for this dish. And I do a rough chop because I like to get to the finish line fast. Into the bowl it goes. I also like rosemary on my turkey. So I picked rosemary, and I'm putting in about 2 tablespoons of rosemary as well. Sometimes I just strip it off the stem. That makes it go really easy, especially for the baby tender leaves. But you can use dry if you want to. That's fine with me. And to that, I'm adding 1 cup of softened butter because I'm going to make a paste, and 1 tablespoon salt. And mix it up. We're adding a lot of salt. So this is about 1 teaspoon I'm sprinkling all over him. And give him a flip. And another teaspoon for the inside. Since we're grilling him, some of the salt's going to fall off on the grill. And on goes our paste. Now with my hands, I rub it in. It's just what you got to do. Sometimes you get messy in the kitchen. And another flip. More butter. And time for the turkey massage. And then I use my finger to make a little pocket in this breast. Like that, you open a hole, and then you put more butter. Everything's better with butter, especially the turkey. So he's got a pocket of butter right there. And do it on the next side too. See, it's really easy to make the pocket. And stick the butter in. It's gonna find its way all over him. That's the secret for a super moist bird. And for appearance purposes, I'm dressing him up with some more rosemary and sage. Oh yeah, that's so pretty. Okay, transfer. To the grill we go. Make sure you turn your grill down to low for this recipe. And you have to put your turkey on that grill. There. And close the lid to form your oven. Where there's smoke, there can be fire, so I gotta check. That's what he looks like underneath. That looks pretty good. On this side. Okay, it's not burned, but it could be trouble. So I need to rearrange him. I'm thinking at this point in the recipe, he needs a flip. He's been on there for about 15 minutes. I don't want any one side to be too done. And down goes the top for more oven action. By cooking my turkey outside of my grill, I have all that oven space for my pecan pie and my potatoes and my stuffing. Spatchcocking a turkey makes it go faster. This bird's only going to take about 45 minutes to 1 hour to cook. You want to cook it to about 165 temperature, and then you just cover foil and let it sit until you're ready to serve it. Oh, this piece fell off because it's starting to get done. It's going to need another half an hour on low. Time to check it. I see smoke. All right, Mr. Tom. What's happening there? Oh, he's looking pretty good there. So the drumsticks are on their own islands now, and I'm basting them once again. Oh man, that smells great, and it looks great too. It's ready, Freddie. Wow. Beautiful. It's ready to serve. So I'm Rebecca Brand, subscribe to my channel, and let's keep making great things on the grill. Like spatchcock turkey. Happy Thanksgiving. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're making turkey stock. All you need for this recipe is the giblets from your turkey, 2 stalks of celery, 3 carrots, and half an onion, and salt. So with the water on, I go looking for presents, and I find myself a little neck. I'm going to use them. So give them the flip, and there we go. We're an instant winner. Let's find out what we got. There's a liver. Now that's for Kitty. The heart is great for the stock, and so's the gizzard. That's the beginning of my stock. And I use the back because I made a spatchcock turkey. Put him in a pot of water and turn that stove on. And we're going to cut off his tails too. And cut off the frayed edges of the top into the stock. And that's going to cook while you're making your turkey. To your boiling water, I add 2 stalks of celery, 3 carrots cut up and peeled, and half an onion. For a gallon of water, I add 1 tablespoon of salt. I had 2 bay leaves in that water. I stir it up. I'm going to let that cook. You can have the simmer all day or just an hour, whatever you want. And that stock is going to get strained and go into my stuffings and my gravies and everything Thanksgiving. I'm Rebecca Brand, subscribe to my channel, and look down for my Thanksgiving playlist. It's got all kinds of recipes. Happy Thanksgiving. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're making classic sweet potatoes with marshmallow topping for your holiday dinner. This is the most traditional recipes passed on from my family for generations. Here's what goes in it. You need your sweet potatoes. Now make sure you get ones that aren't way too big or way too small. If you get them really big, they're going to be stringy in the middle. Marshmallows and salt, butter, and brown sugar. We gotta peel these sweet potatoes. The best investment in your kitchen is a really good peeler because with one, it'll go really fast. And to save water, don't turn on the spigot, just peel it. And then when you're all done, you just turn on your water. Voila. You're gonna cut your sweet potatoes in about 1-inch chunks. And the reason is you want some surface area for everybody's little bite to be filled with goo. So into a pot it goes, because I'm going to parboil it. If your party is a big party and you want to make more, have at it. The beauty of this dish, it's almost all cooked through before you have to put it in for Thanksgiving Day, which means you can get a head start on this and do it a day ahead. Cover your sweet potatoes or yams with water. Done. Put a lid on it. Turn it on high. Bring it to a boil, and then you let it cook for 20 minutes after you turn back that heat so it doesn't boil up and over. You have to strain your yams or sweet potatoes before you put it together. You can tell they're ready because they're super soft. Somebody's gonna love that bite. You can use a colander to strain if you like as well, but I couldn't find mine, so I just used this guy, and that works just as good. These cooked a little bit longer than 30 minutes, and I'm just happy with that because I want them really mushy, and they are. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of salt to this quantity. 1/2 cup of butter that I've melted goes in, and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Now I'm going to mix all these ingredients together. I put these straight away into my casserole dish because I don't want to dirty up one extra bowl. So I'm being pretty careful, but I'm mixing it together because it's going to bake in the oven in this container. So it's pretty to serve. Let's say you made this a day ahead of time and it's been in your refrigerator. Then you're going to have to put foil on top and cook it and bring it to a hot level before you add your marshmallows. Since I'm doing this fresh and in one step, I don't have to fuss with the preheating of it. Okay, that looks about mixed enough for me. Flatten it out. Since I had so much quantity, I'm making a little dome on top. Then nothing's going to spill over in my oven. Now, if there's any kids in the house, bring them in to stick the marshmallows on top. And if you're a kid watching this, you tell your mommy you want to make this for Thanksgiving and you've got it covered. If you make it, put it on Facebook and let me see it. I have a Rebecca Brand recipe page on Facebook, and I just love it when people send me pictures of what they make in their kitchen. I'm using the large Jet Puff marshmallows today. All right, I've preheated my oven to 450 degrees because all I really care about is toasting the top of the marshmallows, not about heating the casserole underneath. And stick it a couple of inches below the heat. But you're going to have to hang out and watch because you sure don't want it to burn. I'm setting my timer for 3 minutes and checking then. It's been 3 minutes and it's not quite done, but I'm checking it because I don't want it to get too brown any one place. I'm going to put it in for another 3 minutes. That's just the way cooking goes. Sometimes you just got to babysit your recipes. Better that than burnt. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's how I like mine. This is going to be like a little dessert on the corner of your plate, guaranteed. Do the marshmallows last on Thanksgiving Day because you want them crispy and toasty and melty and delicious. Now, make way turkey because this is the star today. Happy Thanksgiving, subscribe to my channel, and let's keep making really great things in the kitchen together. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and we're making homemade stuffing today. This is my favorite recipe. I use it to stuff my turkey on Thanksgiving, and it's great for chicken too. I use a loaf of homemade bread. You can use any kind of bread. Carrots, celery, onions. I'm throwing in herbs, but these are optional. Butter, salt, and turkey stock. And that recipe's on my channel. You're gonna need to saute up your vegetables, so I'm getting a whole cube of butter and I'm gonna start that melting on my stove while I chop up my carrots. So turn your butter on low and let it melt slowly. If you get it too hot, it's gonna turn the flavor when it gets brown. You don't want that. I like my carrots in little pieces in my stuffing, so I'll cut the carrots once down the center and once down the center again, and then crosshatch. So turn that heat on high now, and in go your carrots. This is 4 carrots. Now, I can turn it up to high because I know it's not going to burn the butter. The temperature of those carrots bring it down. And I'm adding 1 fatty onion to this party. I want my onion in little tiny pieces too, so it's the same kind of deal. I cut it vertical, and then I cut it horizontal, but I'm super careful because onions can be really slippery. This is when a sharp knife really comes in handy. And then crosshatch. It's kind of a drawing term, but I use it in cooking too. Okay, onions, go join those carrots. Time for a little dunk. And a little stir to get that heat all even. At this time, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon salt. Now, for government purposes, believe me, that's about a teaspoon. I wash my celery really good to make sure there's no pesticides in it. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slice it up the center so they're littler pieces, because you don't want a bite of just celery or carrot. You want a bite of a little bit of everything to make it all balanced. I love the look and the taste of the leaves, so I leave them in there. I don't waste anything, really. Let's do our crosshatch. I'm using 1 whole half a stalk because I love vegetables in my stuffing. So that celery is about the same quantity of the carrots and of the onions. It's like equal in there. So we mix up the mixture and we flatten it out, because what we want is major contact on the bottom of that pan, because if we're lucky, we're going to get a little browning, and that's going to give an extra richness to the flavor of the vegetables in your stuffing. So keep it on high. Now I'm going to cut my bread up to go in the stuffing. You can go ahead and buy those unseasoned little packets of stuffing and use that. That's fine. But I am addicted to my bread maker. Watch my bread maker bread recipe. It's amazing. This loaf of bread cost me about 40 cents for the whole loaf. I make these almost every single day. It makes the house smell great. It's delicious every time. And now look, for 40 cents, I have all that bread for my stuffing. I like to cut the crust off because I really want my stuffing to be really moist. So I slice my bread up into little tiny pieces, and I use my same old crosshatch method. I'm sorry to bother you on that point. Just think of it like a checkerboard. And then I give them little cubes. Isn't that cute? And while I'm doing this, my vegetables are browning. I can hear them sizzling in the background. Into a big container they go. You need a bowl big enough to handle this. Or a pot, whatever you got's fine. I'm adding herbs to this today, but you can skip this. It is so optional. Your dinner is going to be fantastic, whether you have parsley, which this is, and some sage, which this is. The herbs are really pretty for color, and they add some flavor, but it's not mandatory. It'd be really good without them too. So a handful of chopped parsley goes in your breadcrumbs. And I'm going to mince up about 1 tablespoon of fresh sage leaves, or 1 teaspoon of dried. Because the dried are all dehydrated, you don't need as much. But for the fresh, you need a little more. And I chop it up really small so no piece gets in a friend's teeth. Voila. It's been cooking for about 7 minutes. I'm adding in my butter. This is to melt too. And at this time, I'm adding another ½ teaspoon of salt. Basically, it's about a ½ teaspoon per every one of those 3 vegetables. 1½ teaspoons altogether. So we're going to stir up that butter and get it all melted. And you really want your vegetables well cooked for your stuffing. You want them soft. Oh yeah. It smells great, and I'm seeing some of that browning happening and coming up within those vegetables. That's what I was looking for. And when those vegetables are soft and that butter's melted, we are ready for our next step. I'm adding 3 cups of turkey stock to my 6 cups of bread cubes. Mix it up so the moisture gets all around. And we're going to add all the vegetable mixture now with all that butter. Now that's going to make for one moist turkey stuffing. Toss that like a salad. Oh wow, that looks great. I use the stuffing right into my turkey. I have been criticized, and some cooks just don't think that's very sanitary. I don't care. I've been doing it every single year I've been alive, and it works out for me. But another way to go is to put it in a pretty casserole dish and boil it up. Bake it till hot, and that's usually at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. And then you take the top off to brown it. So I'm going to do that now. So here's our Thanksgiving stuffing. Not in the turkey this time. Time for a bite. Ooh, it's hot. It's perfectly seasoned. I taste that sage in it. It's great. Subscribe to my channel, and let's keep cooking great meals in the kitchen. And happy Thanksgiving. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're going to make a homemade pumpkin pie from that porch pumpkin you have left over from Halloween. Don't let your Halloween pumpkin go to waste. The reason this recipe is so successful, it's the way you roast the pumpkin. You want to get all that moisture out of the pumpkin and bake it for a long enough time that it's super soft. Ingredients for this dish are white sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, eggs, whipping cream, a pre-made pie crust, and our star, the pumpkin. Cut this guy in half. Put him down, flesh side down, on a baking sheet. He's going to go in a 400-degree preheated oven. Now cook him for an hour and a half. Leave him in there. To make sure, we stick a knife in to see if it's soft. I have a little black cat. Let this cool first so you don't burn yourself. Because what you need to do is peel the skin off the pumpkin and get the flesh out. If you have some spots of your pumpkin that aren't as tender, like right here, for some reason it's just not as tender as the rest, I'm leaving that. I only want the really soft stuff in my puree. Okay, bye-bye, Mr. Pumpkinhead, he's done. The next step is to puree that pumpkin really soft. A tip is, if you do this when the pumpkin's really hot, you're able to get a really smooth puree. I've done it with cold pumpkin left over, and it's just not the same. I just feel so good about making porch pumpkin pie because I don't have to waste my pumpkin from Halloween. I've got something about that waste factor, I don't know. So there we go, that's what a cup and a half looks like. And I have all this left over to make another pie. Or pancakes. Okay, let's get our pie crust ready. Today, I'm just using those ones that you buy at the grocery store in the refrigerator section that are already done for you. I put a little extra flour on it, and I roll it out. So stick it in. Okay, so unfold your pie crust. Center it. Take your thumb, crimp, crimp, crimp. These little fingers are your little tweezers. You take your little tweezers, and you go around. Okay, there you go. Isn't that great? So for our filling. So this starts with 3 eggs. 1, 2, 3, there we go. Whip them up. Let's add our ½ cup of white sugar. 3/4 cups brown sugar. In goes that 1.5 cups of our homemade pumpkin puree. Yay! And this is how you make your homemade pumpkin pie spice. It's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg. And again, a ½ teaspoon ginger in there. You know, it's a beautiful, spicy pumpkin pie. That's what oh, kitty cat. That's what I'm saying. It's a beautifully spicy pumpkin pie. And hey, if you don't have that sugar pie pumpkin, why spend so much money and pull your hair out trying to find it? You just use your porch pumpkin for your pumpkin pie, and you've got a delicious pumpkin pie. Now we add our cream. This is 3/4 cups heavy cream. You can use half and half. And if you're in a pinch, use milk. Now pour that beautiful pumpkin pie base into that pie shell. Into the oven it goes at 350 for 55 minutes. It's been 55 minutes. Let's check it. Can you see the jiggle? It's gonna have a little jiggle there. Let's check it with a toothpick. In it goes. Out it goes. Clean as a whistle, we're good. Wow, it looks so beautiful. It's the color of harvest. I see a little bit of the nutmeg sprinkles on top. This is a beautiful homemade pie made from those pumpkins you had on your front porch. When you cut it hot, it gets a little mushy on you. Wow. This is best topped off with homemade whipped cream. And this is on my channel, so look for it. It's the best recipe. The cat's gonna join me. You know, subscribe to my channel. Let's keep cooking together. Comment and tell me what you think of your porch pumpkin pie. Oh. I am not kidding. That is phenomenal. Yum. Comment and tell me your favorite family Thanksgiving recipe. Subscribe to my channel and let's keep making great things for Thanksgiving and every other day of the year. Happy Thanksgiving.